In the United Kingdom, it's now become law that Britain must make a deal with Brussels before it can leave the European Union. That's after a bill designed to block a no-deal Brexit was given the final approval by the Queen. The legislation is another blow to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who has repeatedly promised to deliver Brexit on the 31st of October with or without a deal. Well, Johnson will now be forced to seek an extension to the Brexit deadline unless lawmakers approve a deal by the 19th of October. But the government is going ahead with suspending Parliament for 5 weeks. That leaves MPs little time to hash out the terms under which Britain will leave the bloc, because they'll only get back to work on the 14th of October. On Monday, Johnson expressed optimism that a new Brexit deal could be reached in time. Speaking in Dublin after meeting the Irish Prime Minister, Johnson said he was confident the Irish backstop issue could be resolved. It's aimed at preventing a hard border from dividing the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, and it's been a sticking point.
Can we uphold the Belfast Good Friday Agreement in all its particulars? And again, I say the answer is yes. And our commitment in the UK to the peace process is unshakable. Can we protect the economic unity of the island of Ireland and the gains that Ireland has won through its membership of the EU single market? And again, I think the answer is yes. And I think we can achieve these things while allowing the UK to withdraw whole and entire from the EU. And of course, I acknowledge the complexities involved and the symbolism and the sensitivities evoked by the very concept of a border. But strip away the politics, and at the core of each problem, you find practical issues that can be resolved with sufficient energy and a spirit of compromise.
Well, let's get more on this now from Rajneesh Narula from London. He's a professor of international business regulation at the University of Reading Henley Business School. Thank you for joining us on the program. So another day, another change with Brexit. How can we expect all this to play out in the markets? Is this going to be good news for investors?
Well, it depends upon how you define good news. I think the markets, every time Boris says something that doesn't make any sense, the markets go down. And every time any of his ideas get knocked down by Parliament, the markets go up. So the markets seem fairly on the side, clearly on the side of finding a deal. That a deal is the only way forward as far as the markets are concerned. So anything that moves towards achieving a deal of any sort, the more that markets will be happy. So it's sort of they are the nemesis, so to speak, of Boris Johnson.
Well, Brexit uncertainty has lent itself to concerns of a recession, but investors got some good news after the economy posted its strongest monthly growth since January. Is this just a short-term boost for the markets as Brexit uncertainty continues?
Yes, I think so. I think investors have been holding their breath, as it were, for the last few months, because of course, as you know, Rachel, for the last few months, every time we're almost close, we get close enough to a deal, and then it gets snatched away for whatever political reason. So people have been holding back from investing, making big decisions, and of course, on occasion, people do actually have to make a decision of some sort. So I think this is a bit of a blip. While someone just described this as said the pound was now almost as volatile as the Mexican peso, and someone else said to me that in fact it makes the peso look good. Mm-hmm. So we're not really going to see this leading to long-term growth until some decision, one way or the other, is made about Brexit.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the pound, we saw it hit a 6-week high against the dollar and the euro. Are investors a little bit too optimistic here? Are we going to see a correction?
Well, this is a day-by-day thing, and the question is whether Boris will win on his promise of delivering Brexit with or without a deal. And of course, Parliament is fairly concerned that they don't want to have a Brexit with or without Parliament. Parliament insists on being involved. So as long as there is a structured deal, yes, the market will keep cheering and keep going up. If he gets through whatever unconstitutional means or dubious constitutional means, he gets the No-Deal Brexit through on October 31st, markets will collapse. The pound, there will be a run on the pound, and you can bet on that.
Okay, so you don't think that we'll see all this uncertainty and volatility over Brexit potentially get priced into the markets?
They already have priced in quite a lot of this. I mean, the pound has stayed fairly steady for the last several months because everyone has believed that somehow there will be a deal, that common sense will prevail, facts will prevail over faith. And unfortunately, the markets have not. But they still continue to believe in this idea that Boris will be proven wrong because Parliament will act more rationally than Boris Johnson.
All right, and still the clock ticks down. Rajneesh Narula, thank you.